I'm standing in the driveway of my lake house, staring at something I never expected to see. The windows are clean, the garden is blooming, there's a wooden swing hanging from the oak tree that wasn't there before. 6 months ago, I gave my house keys to a homeless woman I met at the airport. I was rushing to catch a flight for what I thought would be a 3-month business trip. She had a baby in her arms and desperation in her eyes. I made a split-second decision that everyone told me was crazy, reckless, dangerous. "Live here while I'm gone," I said, pressing the keys into her hand. "Take care of the place. Take care of yourself." I didn't expect to be gone for 6 months. I didn't expect the negotiations to drag on. I didn't expect my entire life to change. And I definitely didn't expect what I found when I finally came home. I'm Victoria Chen. I'm 60 years old. I built a successful import business from nothing. And this is the story of how a stranger taught me what I'd been missing my entire life. People think being successful means you have it all figured out. They're wrong. I built Chen Global Imports from a single shipping container to a multi-million-dollar operation. I negotiated deals in 5 languages. I had a corner office with a view of San Francisco Bay and a penthouse apartment in Pacific Heights. I also had a mother who called me every Sunday to ask when I was going to stop pretending to be a man and settle down, a brother who only contacted me when he needed money, and an emptiness so vast I could drown in it if I stopped moving long enough to notice. I was 59 when my father died. Heart attack. Quick. He didn't suffer, which is what everyone says when they mean he died alone in his office at 11 p.m. working on quarterly reports. My mother, Eleanor Chen, moved in with me after the funeral. Not because she needed help, she was healthy, sharp, fully capable of living independently, but because, as she put it, "You're almost 60 years old and you live like a monk. Someone needs to remind you that you're still alive." What she meant was, someone needs to remind you that you wasted your best years building an empire instead of building a family. We fought about it constantly. It happened 3 weeks before my business trip to Singapore. I came home at midnight after a particularly brutal negotiation. My mother was waiting in the kitchen, a cup of cold tea in front of her, disappointment etched into every line of her face. "Another 12-hour day," she said, not a question, an accusation. "The Jakarta deal is complicated, Mom. You can't just live," she interrupted. "You can't just breathe. You can't just exist for one moment without that company consuming you." I poured myself wine, too much wine. "Here we go again." "Yes, here we go again," she snapped, "because someone needs to say it. You're 60 years old, Victoria, 60. No husband, no children, no grandchildren for me to hold, just meetings and spreadsheets and an empty house you're never in." "I'm 59, I corrected her pointlessly. "For 3 more weeks, and then what? You'll be 60 and still alone, still working yourself to death just like your father did." That's when something broke inside me. All the resentment I'd been swallowing for years came pouring out. I heard myself shouting, "You want to know why I'm like this? You want to know why I never married, never had kids? Because you and Dad made damn sure I wouldn't." Her face went pale. "What are you talking about?" "David Chen, remember him? The man I loved when I was 25? The one who wanted to marry me? That boy had no ambition. He loved me, Mom. He actually loved me. But you and Dad convinced me he wasn't good enough, that I deserved better, that I should focus on business school instead. We wanted you to have opportunities. And Marcus Rivera, the lawyer I dated when I was 32, too ambitious, you said. He'll compete with the family business. He'll take advantage." My mother stood, her hand gripping the back of the chair. "We were trying to protect you." "And Jonathan Lee, remember him? The architect? Wrong background, you said, not our kind of people." "Victoria." "And then Dad got sick," I continued, my voice breaking. "And then the business was my responsibility, my duty, my entire life. When was I supposed to meet someone, Mom? When I was working 14-hour days to keep Dad's legacy alive? When I was traveling 3 weeks out of every month? No one forced you to take over the company, she said, but her voice wavered. Didn't you? Dad lying in that hospital bed, begging me not to let it fall apart, you crying every night saying his life's work would turn to dust if I didn't step up? How could I say no? We stood there in the kitchen, years of unspoken resentment hanging between us like smoke. I didn't know you felt this way, she finally whispered. You never asked what I wanted. You always knew better. I left her standing there and went to my room. The next morning, we spoke in cold, clipped sentences, the pattern we'd perfected for decades. 3 weeks later, my mother disappeared. I came home from work to find my housekeeper, Rosa, frantic. She's gone, Miss Chen. I've looked everywhere. Her phone is on her nightstand, her purse is in her closet, but she's just gone. Panic like I'd never known seized my chest. I called hospitals, police stations, her friends, the cemetery where my father was buried. Nothing. For 3 days, I barely slept. I hired a private investigator, posted missing person flyers, called in every favor I had. On the 4th day, the detective found her. She was at a women's shelter downtown, volunteering, serving meals, reading to children, living in a small room with nothing but a suitcase of clothes. When I arrived, she was sitting with a young woman who had a black eye and a toddler on her lap, talking quietly, her hand resting on the woman's shoulder. She looked up and saw me. No surprise, no guilt, just calm. Victoria. What the hell are you doing here? I demanded, trying to keep my voice down. What I should have done years ago. Living. Living? You disappeared without a word. Do you have any idea what I've been through? She stood, excused herself from the young woman, and led me outside to a small courtyard. I left you a note, she said calmly. What note? On your pillow. You work so much you probably haven't been in your bedroom in days. She was right. I'd been sleeping on the office couch. Mom, you can't just vanish. I told you you ruined my life, she interrupted gently. I told you you kept me from living. You were right, so I decided to stop being the reason you're miserable. By running away to a shelter? By giving you space, and by finally doing something that matters. She gestured to the building behind us. These women need help, real help, not checks written from a distance. Presence, time, someone who sees them. You could have told me. Would you have understood? Or would you have lectured me about safety and responsibility and appearances? I had no answer. Go to Singapore, she said. Do your deal, live your life, and when you come back, we'll talk. Really talk, not just trade accusations. I wanted to argue, to demand she come home, to fix this the way I fixed everything, with logic and control and force of will. But looking at her face, calm and purposeful in a way I hadn't seen in years, I couldn't. Promise me you'll be safe, I finally said. I promise. Now go. You have a flight to catch. I should have felt relieved. My mother was safe. The crisis was over. Instead, I felt hollow. I drove to the airport for my Singapore flight in a fog, checked in, went through security, sat at the gate, staring at nothing. That's when I saw her. A young woman, maybe 25, sitting on the floor near the restrooms. She had a baby, couldn't have been more than 6 months old, sleeping against her chest in a makeshift sling. She was beautiful in that way people are when they don't know it. Dark hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, brown skin, exhausted eyes that had seen too much. There was a cardboard sign propped against her backpack. Please help, homeless, need food for my baby. People walked past like she was invisible, like she was furniture, like she wasn't a human being sitting on cold airport tile with an infant in her arms. I watched her for 10 minutes. Then I stood up, walked over, and sat down beside her. "What's your baby's name?" I asked. She looked at me with suspicion. "Why?" "Just curious." "Lily," she said carefully. "Her name is Lily." "She's beautiful." "Thank you." We sat in silence for a moment. Then I asked, Do you have somewhere to go? Working on it. That's not an answer. She looked at me directly. No, I don't have anywhere to go. That's why I'm sitting on an airport floor. What happened? She laughed bitterly. You want the long version or the short one? I have time. So she told me about the boyfriend who became violent when she got pregnant, about the family who disowned her for not handling it better, about the shelters that were full, about the jobs she couldn't get because she had no address and no childcare. The system is designed for you to fail, she said quietly. Once you fall through the cracks, nobody wants to pull you out. I thought about my mother, about the women at the shelter, about the distance between writing a check and actually helping. That's when I did something insane. I pulled out my phone and canceled my flight. What are you doing? The woman asked. Changing my plans. I sent a text to my team in Singapore. Family emergency, reschedule negotiations, will advise new timeline. Then I pulled out my keyring, removed a specific key, and held it out to her. What's this? Key to my lake house, about an hour north of the city. It's empty. I was supposed to be gone for 3 months. You can stay there, take care of the place, take care of yourself and Lily. She stared at me like I'd lost my mind. You're joking. I'm not. You don't know me. I could rob you, destroy everything, sell your stuff. You could, I agreed, but you won't. How do you know? I looked at her, really looked at her, past the exhaustion and the dirt and the desperation. Because I spent 60 years learning to read people, and I can see who you are. Tears started rolling down her face. Why would you do this? I thought about my mother's words. These women need help, real help, not checks from a distance. Because someone needs to, and right now, that someone is me. I wrote down the address, gave her directions, told her where the spare key was hidden if she lost this one. There's food in the freezer, linens in the closet. Stay as long as you need. I'll take care of it, she whispered. I promise I'll take care of everything. I know you will. I rebooked my flight for the next day, went home, and told my mother what I'd done. She looked at me for a long moment. Then she smiled, genuinely smiled, for the first time in years. She said, "You're learning." The Singapore negotiations were supposed to take 3 months. They took 6. Not because the deal was complicated, though it was, but because I kept finding reasons to stay, to be thorough, to be perfect. Because going home meant facing what I'd done, meant confronting whether I'd made a terrible mistake giving my house to a stranger. My mother called every week from the shelter. She sounded happier than I'd heard her in years. I didn't tell her I was afraid to go home. When the deal finally closed, successfully, lucratively, everything my father would have been proud of, I couldn't delay anymore. I flew back to San Francisco, rented a car, and drove north to the lake. The entire drive, my stomach was in knots. What would I find? A destroyed house? A ransacked property? Nothing at all? I turned onto the long driveway and stopped. Part 5, Coming Home. The garden was blooming, roses I'd planted years ago and forgotten, lavender lining the walkway, vegetables growing in neat raised beds I'd never built. The windows were clean, actually clean, not just wiped down. They sparkled. There was a wooden swing hanging from the oak tree, painted white, moving gently in the breeze. I got out of the car slowly. The front door opened, and there she was, the woman from the airport, but not the same woman. She looked healthy, rested. Her hair was clean and styled. She wore jeans and a simple shirt that fit properly. She was smiling, and in her arms, a baby who'd grown so much I almost didn't recognize her. "Miss Chen," she said, "welcome home." I couldn't speak. "Please," she continued, "come, see what we've done." The house was transformed. Every surface gleamed. The floors had been refinished. The walls had been painted in soft, warm colors. There were curtains I'd never owned, throw pillows that made the space feel lived in, photos on the walls that weren't mine, but somehow belonged. In the kitchen, fresh bread was cooling on the counter. The smell filled the entire house. I learned to bake, she said shyly. YouTube tutorials. Turns out I'm pretty good at it. You did all this? I managed to say. Well, not alone. She shifted Lily to her other hip. Your mother came to visit 3 months ago. My mother? She showed up one day, said she wanted to meet the woman who had her daughter's house keys. We've been working together ever since. I sank into a chair. There's more, she said. Come outside. In the backyard, there was a garden I'd never planted. Tomatoes, squash, herbs, all thriving. I sell produce at the farmer's market on Saturdays, and I started a small baking business. Lily stays with your mother at the shelter's daycare. I'm saving money, planning. Planning what? Culinary school. Your mother helped me apply. I start in the fall. I looked at this woman, this stranger I'd given everything to on a moment's instinct, and saw something I'd never seen before. Purpose, pride, future. You saved my life, she said quietly. You gave me time, space, a chance to remember I'm more than just someone's victim, more than just a homeless woman with a baby. What's your name? I asked, realizing I'd never asked. Jasmine Martinez. Jasmine, you didn't just take care of my house, you made it a home. She smiled. It's the least I could do.
My mother arrived an hour later. She walked through the door, took one look at my face, and started laughing. Surprised? You knew, I said. You knew what I'd find. I suspected. Jasmine is special, just like you were when you were younger, before the business consumed you. The three of us sat in my newly beautiful kitchen, drinking tea, while Lily played on a blanket on the floor. I have a proposal, I said to Jasmine. Actually, 2 proposals. She looked nervous. First, this house is sitting empty most of the year. I live in the city. I'm never here. Stay, not as a tenant, as a partner. You maintain the property, run your baking business, go to culinary school, build your life. Miss Chen, I can't. Second proposal, I interrupted. I'm starting a foundation for women in situations like yours, women who need more than a shelter bed. They need opportunity, skills, time. I want you to help me run it. She stared at me. You built all this in 6 months, I gestured around the house. Imagine what you could do with real resources. You understand what these women need because you lived it. I don't have any experience. Neither did I when I started my company. You'll learn. I'll teach you. My mother was smiling into her tea. Why are you doing this? Jasmine whispered. I thought about my empty penthouse, my decades of meetings and spreadsheets, my father dying alone at his desk. Because I spent 60 years building an empire, I said, and I just realized I don't want to die in an empire. I want to die in a home, surrounded by people I actually helped, creating something that matters. I looked at my mother. You were right. I was too busy building to live, but I'm done with that now. Jasmine started crying. Yes, yes to everything. Thank you. My mother reached across the table and took my hand. Welcome home, Victoria. For the first time in decades, I felt like I actually was home. The Chen Foundation for Women's Independence opened in a renovated building downtown. Jasmine runs the day-to-day operations. My mother volunteers there 3 days a week. I sold my company, retired at 61, with enough money to fund the foundation for generations. I live at the lake house now, full-time. Jasmine and Lily have the guest cottage I built for them. Every Saturday, we sell her baked goods and my newly learned pottery at the farmer's market. My mother was right about everything. I missed my time. I chose work over life for so long that I almost forgot how to live. But the beautiful thing about time is this: it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to choose differently. It's never too late to build something that actually matters. I gave my house keys to a homeless stranger 6 months ago. She gave me back my life. That's a trade I'll take any day.
What would you do if you saw someone who needed help? Would you walk past or would you stop? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more stories about second chances and the courage to start over.